everybody. Just to check in. I am not on a hiking trail in Vermont, unfortunately. I am somewhere between the top of New York and the top of Pennsylvania, on my way from CVPH to Ridgeway, Pennsylvania, to pick up my vehicle that I crashed a month ago. So I wanted to check in with people because this is a long drive and I've had a lot of time to think and meditate on things, you know, sort of half driving, half meditating, and thinking about things that a broken-hearted traveler thinks on. And I've thought a lot about the fact that I have for a long time sought external validation. In other words, if I wasn't in a relationship or I wasn't with the person whose vibe I really had chemistry with, I wasn't happy. And if that person didn't seem to be happy with me, I would alter myself to make them happy so that I could be happy because they were happy if I was making them happy. See how that's a vicious cycle? All for validation that for the entirety of my life, I wish I had been able to give myself. Because if that was the case, I can say with a high degree of certainty that there's a lot of shit I would not have tolerated. And don't get me wrong, there were relationships where I was able to stand my ground and say, I'm absolutely not putting up with this. I will not put up with it. And I was able to turn around, walk away, and leave. But there are certain chemistries that sometimes when you find each other or when those things just connect, you're sort of willing to do anything to keep that together, regardless, because you are so attracted for some who knows what reason. I mean, it could be amazing one minute and then the next minute you don't know because you don't know what the other person's feeling because they're sending you mixed signals, which is a fucked up way to be to somebody. I'm sorry. But maybe I did that to people too. Who knows? Because honestly, as I've said, most of my validation has been external. And I won't just say in relationships. I'll say that my validation has come from achievements. My validation has come from an extraordinary life story that I'm really proud of. I have a lot. I feel like my achievements are something to be proud of. And, you know, there's been a validation in that process. And also almost to the detriment of myself and my daughters, because I couldn't stop. It was really a false validation because honestly, I was kind of addicted to it. I was addicted to achievement because I thought, this isn't it. This isn't what I was looking for. There has to be something more. Okay, so if it's not in the relationship and it's not in the master's degree from Penn and it's not in the best job in the world, it's not saving a life, it's not watching a baby be born, or what is it? Where is my worth? Where is it? I can't find it. I have traipsed the world. I have walked the planet looking for my worth, looking for my validation. And the closest to that I came was to feeling what I thought was love in a relationship. And especially in that soul bond relationship. And I know a lot of people have felt that way. I know that I'm not the only person who has felt that way. And especially as an empath, you become so in tuned to the other person's moods, or, when they're putting off funky shit and something's up, but they won't say it, but something's up. And it's just, and then you start to question yourself, am I crazy? And then you're going in this, you're in this, rat wheel in your mind. You don't know what's going on, but something's going on, and there's such a high level of anxiety. And by the way, that is an attachment style in love called anxiety attachment. And it stems from, childhood things. And there's other people who have an unattached style of love, and they don't give a shit, really. Honestly, they don't care whether you're there or not there. And those anxiety and those detached kind of people seem to draw each other in for some reason, almost like magnets of opposite polarity. So there's a circular type of vibe. Not only is it where we find this external validation, but there's also this it's this in and out cycle of, I want you, no I don't want you, I want you, no I don't want you, you're too much, you're too little, you're too much, you're too little, I want more, I don't want more, I can't, I don't know where we stand, I want a relationship, no I don't want a relationship, I want something more than you, I want something less than you, you're too much. So there's these cycles that we all go through, and we seek our validation, and I can think of words, like just one word that could put me on my knees, that came from another fallible human being, a person who was entirely human. And I've looked around, and I found that most of us are human. There is no perfect person out there. And yet I would allow that person to have that kind of power over me. So I have brought my energy back to myself. And this is where I feel the safest, honestly. And it's kind of chicken shit, but it's also really good for me. It's really healthy. I feel like I'm in a really good place. And I can say that I've started to validate myself, because you know what? The only validation that really matters is mine. I'm the one that's looking back in the mirror. I'm the one that has to sleep with myself. Hashtag solo girl. And I'm good with it. I am processing the things that have occurred, and the things that I have done, and the anxieties that I have fostered and I have let grow. And the big part of this is the shame factor. The fact that a woman doesn't want to admit, I'm insecure. I'm afraid that you're talking to somebody else. I'm afraid that you're cheating on me. I'm afraid you're looking around for somebody else. I'm afraid that you want to go back to your ex. I'm afraid that you want to go forward. I'm afraid you want somebody younger or prettier or skinnier or with a better job or who's smarter or funnier or whatever. Women don't want to admit that, because that's not, that comes off as needy. And nobody's needy, right? Nobody's
needy. In 10 miles, take exit 42 onto E14 towards Geneva.
Hashtag broken heart traveler. Anyway, we are all in this, if we're honest and unashamed, we all have an element of neediness that, if you are in this kind of insecure attachment style when it comes to relationships, regardless of its anxiety or detached or whatever, it's neediness, and there's external validation. It doesn't matter. You want the validation to come from outside of yourself. It has to come from your friends. It has to come from your family. It has to come from your job, or the people that are looking at you on Facebook, or the people that are seeing your Insta posts, or whatever. You want validation, somebody to pat you on the back and say, good job, because their shit matters so much, because their opinion is so valuable. Why? Remind me? I don't know. I can't recall. I don't know how I got there, but I got there. And that's where I lived there for a lot of years because I didn't think that I was enough to give myself validation. I thought my validation had to come from a better source. The sad thing is, maybe not sad anymore. Maybe the glorious part is, I have realized this before it's too late in life. And I die thinking I never got the validation that I wanted. Because I may never find, I may never be ready. I may never find a partner. I may never find a soulmate. I may never find another person to walk through life with. And I'm really good with it because I like myself. I'm feeling my vibe. I'm feeling my energy. I know what's going on in here, and I'm starting to figure out why. I know it's not all good, but I know it's not all bad. My intentions are good, and my vibe is high, and I hope that other people can actually understand what I'm saying when I say you are enough. Your validation of yourself is enough. You don't need anybody else telling you that you're good enough, patting you on the back and saying you're pretty, you're smart, you're handsome, you got BDE. Nobody needs that. Nobody needs to give you that but you. I just hope that you know that you're enough. And you don't need anybody else to tell you that. You don't need anybody else to validate you. Your validation can come from within. We all have a beautiful spirit within us. We all have an amazing, beautiful core. I believe that in my soul. I know that. And if you're watching this and you've been hurt and broken and just beat down by whatever, relationships, bad choices, things that have got you down, things you can't help, things that were not in your control, things that were in your control, whatever, just know that you can forgive yourself, you can love yourself, and you can validate yourself. You can walk into a room with your chin up, shoulders back, knowing that you're good. You're not better than, but you're good. And that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at today. I didn't realize that I needed external validation until I felt an emptiness without it. And that was a big eye-opener. This is a life changer. And I hope this resonates with somebody. I hope somebody sees this and goes, oh, I need to work on myself. Or, oh, I didn't even know that about myself. I didn't get it. I hope somebody gets it. And now that I have dumped on you guys, I should probably pay attention to the road. So stay tuned for another journal entry from the Brokenhearted Traveler. #solo girl. #loving myself. #high vibe.